Hello, hey, in this video I'm going to explain how SEO works. Now I'm going to try and break this down in the simplest form that I know, and the reason that I know it's going to land for you is because I've explained this concept. I've been doing SEO probably for about 15 plus years now, and I've explained how SEO works in the most simplest form, the way that I'm about to show you right now, to probably around about 200-300 different clients and prospects over the years. And what I'm going to show you, if you're confused about SEO or if you don't understand how it works, what I'm about to show you is really going to make it land for you today. Now here's why this is important. If you're a business owner or a marketing manager and you're looking to either invest in SEO or you've got an SEO company that you're already working with, it's really important that you understand these basic concepts, because this is what's going to allow you to judge whether the SEO company that you are going to choose or the company that you're working with right now is actually doing what they need to be doing to move the needle and get your website ranking. Because once you understand how it works, then you can actually look at the work and work out whether that is contributing to the fact that you're going to rank on the first page. So if you are a small business owner or a marketing manager, it's important to be able to make these decisions, because if the company's not doing the right thing, you're not getting ROI, you're not getting the value that you need. So I find this has been the most easiest way, and I explain this to every client so they can really make an educated decision and keep us accountable as an SEO company to doing SEO the right way. Okay, so that's why it's really important. As I said, this is going to be super simple. It's not going to be technical jargon or anything like that. This is the simplest way I've been able to condense it down, which just makes it click in people's minds and they get it. They get how SEO works. Okay, so let's dive in. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw up the first page of Google. Okay, I've got that over here, so let's write that here. First page of Google. Okay, now, so that looks something like this, and you can type in your keyword right here into the search bar. So we've got Google right here, and then you've got your 10 listings, you've got your ads here and things like that, and then down here you'll notice on the first page of Google that there's a pagination of all these other results that also are relevant for whatever keyword you type in here. Okay, so that's how the first page looks. It's important to have this so you understand the levers to push in an SEO campaign and how SEO works, how that actually affects how your site ranks here. Really, really important to get. Okay, so these are our results: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then more pages here. Okay, now how SEO works in the simplest form is I break it down into 4 different buckets. Okay, now bucket number 1 is this. Okay, optimization. So part of SEO, you need to optimize a page. I'm going to go into what that actually means. So number 1, optimization. Number 2, most people would say technical and backlinks and all that type of stuff, but I'm going to show you what's most important and what has the biggest kind of initial ranking push and how we rank sites and the way that we roll it out. That's really going to make this a lot easier for you to understand. So optimization. Then number 2, I call this topical relevance. Number 3, authority of your website. And then number 4, I put in here technical. Now they all play a part, but the reason that I have set them up like this makes it really easy to understand how SEO works. Okay, so number 1, let's start with optimization. And the example we're going to choose is if you were an electrician and you were operating in, let's say, Sydney. Okay, so our keyword that we're going for is electrician Sydney. Okay, now if that is the main area that you're operating in, the first thing that needs to happen, and this is how SEO works, what Google looks at is how optimized is your website or the page that you're trying to rank for. In this example would probably be their home page. How optimized is that home page, that page, to Sydney, okay? And there's a few things that goes into optimization, things like your title tag, your H1, your how many keywords are on the page, and yeah, it does get a little bit technical there, but all you need to know is that if your company's working on optimization, if they've made your page relevant to the phrase that you're wanting to rank for, that is the first step of how SEO works. You've got to get your page optimized for the search term that you're trying to rank for, okay? And as I said, there's multiple ways you can do that through the title tag, the H1, the actual content, images, and all that type of stuff. But basically, all you need to ask your company is, how optimized are we for this phrase that we're trying to rank for? And what are you doing about it? And if you want to learn more about optimization, you can obviously have a look on our site. That's not what this training is about. This is more really a macro kind of top level how SEO works. But if you wanted to really hold your company, your SEO agency accountable, get to know what optimization is. And that is really the first step in any campaign that we do. We don't start technical stuff, we don't start building backlinks, we don't start doing articles or anything like that if your optimization is off. Because here's what happens. When you get your optimization right for, let's say, Electrician Sydney, what tends to happen is that you'll start to rank somewhere here. You're not going to start on the first page just by doing the optimization, because that's a pretty competitive term. But what is going to happen is when you get this right, when you get your optimization right, what we have found over the years, and I've been doing this for a long time, 15 plus years, you tend to rank probably in the first 100 results, okay? So your website will show up somewhere in these first 100 results, and that's when you know that the optimization has been done somewhat correctly. The higher up you'll rank, so this is obviously the first page, and then there's page 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, on so. The higher up you are, let's say you rank and you land on the third or the fourth page, the better your optimization has been done. Okay, so this is it's a big ranking factor, but it's also contributes a big part to how SEO works. So make sure your SEO company is investing time into actually optimizing your site. If they're not doing that, they're not doing a good job. So it's important for you to know that. That's number one. Topical relevance is number two. And this is all this is. This is the amount of pages on your website that make your business relevant to this main term that you're ranking for. Okay, so let me give you the example here for Electrician Sydney. So let's say your homepage is about Electrician Sydney, but if you're an electrician, you then have a whole array of services that you would offer. Okay, so obviously you would offer things like PowerPoint installation, lighting installation, a level 2 electrician if you're in Sydney, and then all these different services that make up your service offering as an electrician. Okay. That is what builds your topical relevance. Not just having a page about electrician and then having a page after page that talks about electrician. It talks about the different services that an electrician would do. That's what builds topical relevance, because Google understands, okay, an electrician, they should know how to switch a light bulb. They should know how to do a PowerPoint. They should know. Now solar is probably part of that as well. But Google understands what an electrician does. And then the more you can show Google that you are relevant, okay, topical relevance, the more you can explain that you are relevant to being an electrician in Sydney, the more likely your website's going to start climbing up these ranks, okay? So number one, we have to get your optimization right. That is kind of like the starting point. You get that right, or if you don't do this, and this is why I did it in this order, you don't do this, you will not show up at all. Number two, you want to start building your topical relevance, and you can, a more advanced kind of thing that we talk about is siloing your content, but really what you want to do is you want to let Google know that we offer, or we're an electrician. We can prove that by showing you that we offer these services, that we understand the risks involved with electricity. We know everything there is to know about electricity and electrical services. You can do that via blog posts, via your service pages and all that type of stuff. Now this is a little bit more advanced. You've got to prove that you're an electrician in Sydney. How do you do that? Well, don't just go Electrician Sydney and build 100 pages called Electrician Sydney. That's not how it works. That may have worked back in the day, a little bit more black hat. What you need to do is, you need to show Google that you understand Sydney. Okay, Electrical services in the eastern suburbs, electrical services in the North Shore, electrical services down in Wollongong, all around Sydney. Now you're showing Google not only that you have topical relevance to electrician, you also have topical relevance to Sydney. And you do that by building different pages. And the more you do, if you nail this, not just for the homepage, but then all the other pages, and then you start to nail this, you will start to climb up the Google rankings. And that is how SEO works. Google looks at how optimized is a page, and then they look at how authoritative are they to this topic. That's the simplest way that I can explain it. And there's all these algorithms behind the scenes that work all this out. But if you get this, and if you get this, you've won half the battle of understanding how SEO works. Okay, still with me? So those are the first two things, critical and critical. If your SEO company, your agency is not doing optimization, if they're not building content to make you an authority, you're not getting your money's worth. The company's not doing their job right. These are basic elements of how SEO works, and you need to be able to see them being delivered month after month in the right way. Okay, that's your optimization and your topical relevance. Number 3 is your authority. Okay, so you may have heard the term backlinks, link building, and all that type of stuff. It still is a highly, it's a big ranking factor, but it also plays a big part of how SEO works. Because here it is, okay? Your optimization, topical relevance, and authority all play together, okay? So your optimization lets Google know that you're relevant to this. You're going to rank somewhere in these results here. So maybe not on the first page, but down the first page, the second, third, fourth, fifth, or whatever page. The more topically relevant you are, the higher up the rankings you will go, okay? So that's how SEO works. You get relevance by optimizing your site. You get topical relevance by building articles. Then you get authority by having other links from around the internet saying that you are an electrician in Sydney. Now, the way Google came up with this way back, if you've ever done an essay at university, is they use the same system. In an essay, the more citations and the more references an essay has, the more authoritative that essay is, because it's not just me giving my opinion, it's all these published pages, all these published journals or authoritative research that backs up my argument. That's exactly how backlink building and authority is established for your website as well. If all of a sudden these other websites around the internet start saying, yes, this is an electrician in Sydney, and they point to this website, Google counts it as an authority that this website is now more authoritative than the other ones. And guess what's going to happen? Your website's going to start moving up the rankings, okay? This gets you registered in the rankings. This starts to give you authority and move you up in the rankings. And then this boosts your authority, not just on a topical relevance level, but it tells Google, yes, they are, and this is where it gets really advanced, they are an electrician, because we're going to build links on other electrician or electrical related websites, and they're operating in Sydney. We're going to build you what's called business listings. So now these websites from Sydney, true local, where your address is on there, we're going to tell Google that we are operating in Sydney, not just via our content on our own site, but via the content on other websites and those links pushing this up. Now, I've seen sites rank with just doing these 3, even with technical stuff, terrible technical stuff, slow loading times, even spam sites and hacked sites. I've seen them rank before when you get these 3 things right. These are highly relevant ranking factors, and they play a part in how SEO works. But really the last thing, if you want to play in a competitive space, you got to get your technical stuff right. And basically, what the technical stuff does is it just helps Google better understand these things quicker. So it loads your website quicker. It's easier for them to read your code. It's removing kind of bloaty scripts and all that kind of stuff from your website. It's making your images smaller. It's fixing up your interlinking, and all that type of stuff goes in the technical bucket. Now, I always do this because the way you want to think about it is, if you do all this right and you're kind of on the second page, many times, if you get your technical right, it's like it removes that handbrake, okay? You're not going to start driving your car without your handbrake down. You put the handbrake down first, you hit the gas, you start going. So that's the same with this. And There's no real order, like I do this first, this or this. You want to take care of this somewhere in the process, and it definitely is an aspect of how SEO works. But if you nail this, if you get your topical relevance right, your authority right, and then your technical right, that's really how SEO works. And when you do this, I've explained, this is how it works. This is what Google looks at to rank your site in the SERPs and then moves your site up in the SERPs. So that's really the simplest way that I've been able to explain this to clients. This is how we do our proposals. We literally say, we're going to do optimization, we're going to do this, we're going to build articles this way to build relevance, we're going to build your authority this way, and we're going to take care of your technical problems. If you don't see this stuff on a proposal, if you don't see this stuff coming through on your monthly reports that the agency has been working on this, it's probably a sign you need to look elsewhere. Okay, so I'm talking to marketing managers and business owners. That's who we serve all the time. And these are the main things. When I do an analysis on a website, I look at how well has this been done, because I know this is how SEO works. Break it into these buckets. Yeah, you'll find articles out there that say there's 200 different ranking factors. But for the last 15 years, for the times that I have done across hundreds and hundreds of sites that we've done SEO on, this has not changed. Yes, Google's going to change, there's going to be AI results and all types of stuff, but this is what they've built their search engine on. This is what they've optimized their algorithm around. This is how SEO works. It's going to work that way as well. Alrighty, so hey, your next steps from here is get to know a little bit more what is optimization, what is topical relevance, authority, technical, because obviously I can tell you what they are, and I've given you a top level one, but now your next step is to identify what's good optimization and what's bad optimization, how to do topical relevance the right way, and what is a good backlink, a bad backlink, and what are the most important technical factors. You'll find all that type of content on our website, on our blog, on our YouTube channel. There'll be videos around it, but this is really the basic of how SEO works and the basic understanding you need to have to be able to judge whether your SEO is working for you or not. Alrighty, that's all for today. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you appreciate it. Leave a comment on the video if this has been helpful. I'll see you again in another video soon.